Hey everybody, welcome to the quote-unquote YouTube Shop Talk cast, unquote. I'm joined by Josh from GamingFTL and Wanderbot from Wanderbots, if I got that right.
Yep. Stupid. Somebody took my channel name before I ever had it. Russian channel from 2006.
Russians
Yeah.
are all over the internet.
Never used it. Put a banner of like a soccer thing on, and that was it.
He reviews soccer?
Let's
play soccer.
It's just like a little portrait thing that I really probably could actually ask YouTube to take him down and give it to me, but what's the point? I can't migrate my channel over. Really wish they actually let you do that. That'd be really nice.
Yeah. I would agree. Anyway. YouTube has done a lot of things good and a lot of things bad. We'll talk about that soon. Anyway, so we've recorded one, kind of a feeling for how it was going to work out. I think the final product ended up turning out pretty good. We had a lot of hiccups in how the video actually released, which was why it was nearly 15 days late.
Yeah, but late to someone who doesn't know something's coming is still pretty early.
Correct.
It's exactly on time.
Yeah, I wanted to put all that work into the first episode before it was released so that I kind of knew what I was doing for the next one. So,
yeah.
What?
I guess elephant in the room. Let's just start with it.
The elephant in the pajamas.
YouTube Red.
Yeah. Those pajamas are gone, man. Just give up.
So YouTube Red launched.
Just let them go.
Technically yesterday. And it's, I guess, it's not that from the 28th through November it's a trial, but rather that's when people first sign up, right? So people can sign up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's just a standard like 30-day trial, just like the Spotify one, just like the Netflix one.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. And this is only in the US, yeah?
I believe so. Or like 2 or 3 countries
not
or
over
something.
here yet.
Okay,
Definitely.
yeah. If it's not
in
in Britain, then chances are it's not anywhere else. Uzbekistan, there we go. They got it too. I'm just making this up. They don't have it. I just threw out the first country that popped into my head. It's like they have it too.
I was going to say like US, Uzbekistan.
All the major territories.
Makes a lot of sense. So first of all, because we get ahead of ourselves a lot, YouTube Red is a subscription service for YouTube that gives you the ability to run or see no ads, offline playback for mobile devices,
access to Google Music as well.
Yeah, that's bundled with it as well, and I've been using that all day today. I love it, which will probably be something I'll talk about as well. And you get not offline, because I just finished saying that. You can play videos in the background while you're doing other things. Or you can like turn off your phone and still listen to music or something, but on YouTube. So if you don't use YouTube on mobile, you're not really taking much advantage of it. And so in the US, that is $9.99 per month, and I think it's $12.99 if you get it through Apple, because of Apple tax or something.
Yeah.
So that just launched, and over the last, when was it actually like told to people? Like a week ago?
A number of us have known about it for like pretty much the last month. Like I've known about it since early October.
Not necessarily called Red, but a service like this has been bouncing about for the last couple of months.
Right.
And
we just knew YouTube was going to do something subscription, but
yeah, it's pretty much plus all the extras. It's pretty much as a lot of people expected it to be, including the thing that is most contentious about it, and that is how the money is divvied out to creators.
Right. And throughout all of this, I've had particular predictions that I've made, and every single one has not been true.
Oh.
Which in the end, I guess, sort of makes sense with the way YouTube is sort of working. Mm-hmm. But even with all of what I've thought or hoped would happen hasn't come true, in my opinion, it's still a way better deal than I think people are making of it.
Yeah, I find it very appealing.
Because we have to talk into the actual nitty-gritty of this, because that's what this podcast is sort of about. So, for people who don't know, your individual view is basically worthless. Each
Like
view,
1/100th of well, it's 1,000th of a cent.
no,
It's
no,
a
it's like,
thousandths of a dollar. There we go. So it's like 1/10 of a cent.
yeah, between
Yeah.
like 1/10 of a cent and half a cent.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as much as we appreciate your patronage and your, not necessarily patronage, but you visiting our websites and stuff and watching our things, that's cool and everything, but it makes nothing for anyone.
yeah, so
It's only in bulk.
right.
Yeah.
Whenever you think about supporting someone through watching their videos, you're supporting them by, interacting with them, giving them engagement, supporting them by being a fan. That's great. But
Yeah.
it's misleading to think that each person by themselves is making a difference in terms of revenue. So
You'd have to watch a lot of my videos to
Yeah.
make me $1. You'd
This
have
is
to
a-
watch 1,000 of my videos more or less to make me $1, give or
yeah,
take.
that's the exact point that I wanted to bring up, is that so with YouTube Red and regular like ad payments, YouTube/Google takes 45% of that, and then whatever's remaining, 55%, goes to your network or directly to you. Same thing happens with Red. They take 45%, is what,
Which is a very high percentage, by the way.
yeah, really high. But
But they're not making any profit, so...
Yeah. In some ways, that's a whole nother discussion, but in some ways they don't need to, because YouTube is like, it's sort of their loss leader, I think is the phrase for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Google uses YouTube to drive sales of phones and services and marketing and AdSense and all sorts of stuff. So, but anyway, so in any case, Google is taking 45% of that. But
Yep.
to make up, and we can get into how the money is paid up, but just put simply, the money that's, the $5.50 that goes into the big YouTube Red subscriber money pot, you would have to watch like, I don't know, 6,000, like 2,000 videos a month, depending on what the channel is because of CPMs and stuff. You have to watch 2,000 videos a month to make up for, or you would have to be a user that watches 2,000 videos a month for YouTube Red to be just about as good as far as what you're bringing in. That's a lot of content.
No one makes that.
Yeah.
To
No one
be totally
watches that.
fair, to most people, they probably don't care about like how much we're making off of them. Like,
Nope.
gonna be honest, this sounds kind of like, you are our income, pay us money. And like I can totally sympathize. Like, most people treat YouTube as like free entertainment, and the idea that people can even make money off of this is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
Still, to a lot of people, my folks are still confused as hell. But whatever.
Yeah.
But so I guess, what are the like direct benefits of YouTube Red? I know no ads.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Well, the offline viewing, so you can like download YouTube videos to
Okay.
watch later, and you're
So they're
able
they're
to
not doing
watch,
anything
or you're able to listen to
Netflix-y?
videos in the background.
Yeah, while you're using other apps. I think that's the idea.
Oh, I didn't know they had that. I just signed up for the free trial to mess around with it, and of course now I'm looking at Play Music instead because that's more useful to me. I don't actually watch YouTube videos.
How dare you?
I mean, I make like 7 videos a day. I don't have enough time to watch like more than a 10-minute Game Grumps video, and that's
I'm
it.
gonna make one every seven days.
I need to work on that.
Me too.
So it kind
at
of works
this
out.
rate.
Yeah. So that, you make a good point. Like, not everyone in the world is like, oh boy, I can't wait to support my favorite YouTubers. Like, that's a minority, but still a vocal minority. And and that's
absolutely.
a good point or a good aspect that YouTube is trying to push is like, if you subscribe to this, you're able to support your content creators even without watching ads. And the fact is, if you're just an average YouTube user and the benefit of getting no ads on your videos, or not needing to see ads but still contributing, even if you're just an average user, you're contributing way more, like 50 times more than if you just watched ads. And most people skip ads,
Yep.
if they have the option. I started doing only unskippables for really long videos, or for pre-rolls, or not pre-rolls, mid-rolls, so that people like they throw it on their TV or something and watch it, and they'll get like a 15-second unskip, and hopefully it's the Geico ones because those are the best, right? So that's just kind of how I see it. But yeah, YouTube Red can be a really big difference for channels, and I think because of how YouTube has gone about, I think a lot of people are scared of it, and I don't necessarily blame them, but I feel like a lot of people have been jumping to conclusions like it's the death of YouTube.
I think anything new and unknown is scary to anybody. Remember when Netflix was announcing the split service between the mail-in DVDs and the watch online thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that happened anyway, and everybody's okay with it, and the world's not currently crumbling.
Remember when Facebook bought Oculus? Remember how nothing happened?
Oh, I had so many really cool conversations about Oculus over this last week. That's like another hours long podcast in itself.
I argue with so many people on Reddit.
No, I like real live people in person.
I'm saying
in
about
flesh.
me. I got sucked into conversations.
I know this is why my conversations were probably more productive.
Yeah, well, my conversations.
Yeah, well, my subreddit
has 69 followers. So I guess with that said, let's go into how, because we don't, even after it's been launched, we still don't really know all that much about it.
Yeah.
But the way...
To be fair, like, we don't know about it, and I was actually notified about an argument on the Mindcrack subreddit, actually, of all places, where it was like hundreds of responses. Those people are passionate about their Mindcrackers. But so they were having a argument about how, you know, the bigger YouTubers know all the secrets and like stuff like that. No, we don't.
This time, no one knows.
Yeah, almost never does anybody know. I wager, I guess, that not even like PewDiePie was clued into anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also
I think
so
PewDiePie
untouchable.
Probably
it doesn't
knows
matter that
because
much.
he is making a series for the YouTube exclusive content. You know, like Netflix does original series. YouTube are doing the same thing.
Okay, I will recant then.
He probably knew
that is a bit
more,
outlier.
but probably not even that.
Well, yeah, but at that point he's like actively being involved in the process. So go figure.
Yeah. And that's another benefit of YouTube Red. I guess you call it a benefit. It's more like just a paywall for certain content, but there is exclusive content for YouTube Red subscribers, and the lineup is not very enticing.
Yeah, gonna be totally honest. Like if I'm looking for new original content, I'm just gonna go watch YouTube videos. Ads be damned.
Yeah.
Then try and like. The idea of them trying to create content to draw people in for YouTube Red seems kind of silly.
Yeah. I definitely think, I mean, they obviously took some of their top people.
Yeah,
top men to make exclusive content, but the lineup is like, what is the lineup? I thought it was like PewDiePie and like Smosh.
Oh wow, they're really speaking to my demographic right there. No, they're speaking to like really important demographics, but
well, honestly, like I can actually see why this is a good idea, because one of the easiest ways to get a demographic on board is to target children.
Yeah, I got the lineup.
Try and keep them as they grow up. Can you link us the lineup so we can find it? I have no idea where to look.
Sure. So Tobuscus, Joey Grasaffa project.
That's
Gary PewDiePie, Sing It from the Fine Brothers. Oh boy. There is Laser Team in this feature-length action comedy from Rooster Teeth.
Oh really?
Which actually seems decent. If it's Rooster Teeth, I'll probably watch it.
Oh god. I have no idea who Joey Grasaffa is, but you go to his channel and it just starts playing loud music, so I assume he's a music channel.
Or a prank channel. It's just loud dubstep suddenly. And a 3D intro.
I honestly can't tell what he does. There's a lot of capitals, and it's a dude with like...
With hands?
It's a pretty boy dude. That's about all I can tell.
Oh, wow.
Saying
Yeah,
stuff.
he's got the pretty boy flick hair as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, moving on.
How sexually
So
attractive
those
is
are-
that?
Those are the quote-unquote exclusive videos that are going to be only for YouTube Red's subscribers or
Yeah.
members, I guess. I hope they come up with more because there's a lot of really great content on
Yeah.
YouTube. And I feel like the guys behind maybe Crash Course or something like that make really great like educational content. Maybe if they were paid to do like a documentary or stuff like that, like things that you wouldn't get otherwise. And I think that's what they're going for with the exclusive content here, is that these are things that you probably wouldn't see on their channel. Like even the PewDiePie one is in this reality adventure series from the creator and exclusive producer of The Walking Dead at Skybound Entertainment and Maker Studios, experience thrills, chills, and laughter as PewDiePie encounters terrifying situations inspired by his favorite video games. So it still sounds like it's something different than what he's typically used to. So it's not like you're missing out on content that you would otherwise get on their channel, which I think is probably a useful distinction. It's something kind of different or extra. And there's a lot of really quality channels out there that produce really great stuff. And it'd be nice if YouTube kind of funded those projects out of the blue, which Google actually did for channels like Crash Course who do educational content. They gave them like $500,000 and say, we want to hire you to do like 2 seasons of, covering history from like World War I or doing like all of physics and chemistry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
that's a really cool thing.
And their channel's still going because they're actually supported through Patreon, previously Subbable. Kind of a nice side note with that. So with YouTube Red, way more. All numbers point to it being really great for YouTube creators.
For us, yeah. Assuming people actually use it. And I get a number of... I get the feeling a number of people are.
There are a variety of standard responses to YouTube Red from people that actually would, consider buying it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the biggest, most irritating one, honestly, that I hear is, well, I can just use ad block, right?
Oh my God.
And that's both a dickish thing to do. I understand 100% that you don't want ads, and you also don't have money to pay or don't want to pay. I kind of get that, but
Gonna be honest though, if you're watching my videos with ad blocker, you're effectively stealing from me. If it's stealing from all of us. I put in a ton of time into my videos, maybe less than I should because I just realized I released a video with no audio. But yeah.
Well, we can do
I'm
7 a
working on
day.
that.
Something.
yeah, I think you no matter which YouTuber creator you talk to, you're going to get a different response on ad block. But really,
it's an ad. It's 30 seconds for a
40 minutes sometimes.
10. Yeah, for me, it's average 30.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go watch Hulu. You got to go sit through 6 minutes of ads to watch a 20-minute television show.
And then, or you can pay like an additional like $10 a month, like double it to get no ads or something like that.
No, you still have to watch ads, just less.
No, I thought they launched like a second top tier
Oh, you're
one.
right. I
Again.
forgot about that.
Yeah, for no ads.
Fuck Hulu, man.
Netflix all the way.
So there's
Netflix does not have anime.
It
It
does.
does. It sucks.
Oh.
Their selection is
got,
terrible.
What has it got? It's got
It's
Fairy
got that one.
Tail?
I mean,
uh
most of those are also on Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll just has really annoying Nickelodeon ads. But one. Yeah.
That's even worse for me. Is
Yeah.
not having ad variety. If there's one thing I complain about for Twitch or for YouTube, it's I need a much bigger ad like pool to pull from, because sometimes I'll see the same ad like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I wish I just could select a little box saying only show me movie trailers for like these genres and games.
Yeah.
I'd watch ads. I don't mind seeing the Halo 5 ad like 7 times in a row because it's goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah. And like
Even if it's like a little annoying by the 7th time, you're like, it's It's better than oh shoot, I had one for IUDs a little while ago, and I'm like, what?
And like before, I had mentioned Geico. Geico's 15-second unskippables are fantastic because the voiceover is just, you can't skip it, this ad, it's already over. And then they just freeze in frame. They just say savings, and it's like a handshake or something like that.
You know what?
It's
I like
fun,
that. Yeah,
and you don't care. And I really wish more ads were self-aware of where that video was going. I mean, just recently.
I wish. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wish more ads were just clever like that, instead of like the trying to reach as broad of an audience as possible. Like that Geico ad probably cost them maybe $1,000 compared to like the multi-thousands that most ads probably do.
I mean, it's probably way more than 1,000, but it's also much more like useful.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's only for one, technically, like, to them, one market, YouTube, it's still way more useful. It has a much bigger impact. Like, I'm not a veteran in any way, but for the last few months, my job has been making commercials. And I make commercials for TV, for radio, and we basically just repurpose the TV commercials for YouTube.
So what you're saying is you're part of the problem.
Well, kind of. The commercials that I make, like I could even send you one after we record to show you the kind of stuff that I made. A couple months ago, I watched a commercial I made show up on national cable TV, and that was really cool. Even though I don't watch TV, so this kind of thing. But it was my parents called me, Brad, is this your commercial? Is this it? But it's still really cool.
That's nice.
So, I don't know. I think that would get on my nerves real fast.
What do you mean?
Oh, if every commercial came on, it's like, is this yours? Is this yours? Is this yours?
Oh, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's
for
what
the
I was
beginning
thinking.
of the show. And eventually I said, no, I just told you what the commercial was. This is like for a completely different product. And eventually I think my dad was just, what's the word? Trolling me?
Oh, yeah.
So at my job, we basically just repurpose TV commercials, and the ones that I make are actually, I think they're pretty decent as far as like, because I do it for a blues artist, and so there's music playing throughout, and it's from his live performances, and there's text on screen, voiceover, like here's how you can get tickets, that type of stuff. So it's not boring, and so all I do is I put a little banner on the bottom of the screen that says, click the link to get tickets in your area, and we all, they're all geo-directed or geo-located or whatever you want to call it for that market. So those work out pretty good. But you're right, there are so many commercials that don't even make sense for YouTube. Like they're the really loud like car commercials that you'd see on TV.
I instantly lose all interest in any product if the ad is like louder than any like the normal stuff.
Yeah. And that's, not to go back to my job, but I had to learn about, it's like URE standardization, the Calm Act of like 2007 or something like that. Congress actually passed a law that required commercials to be done at a certain level because people were complaining that, they'd have your TV at a certain volume, like, a quiet drama. And then suddenly it's Sunday.
Buy our shit.
Yeah. And so I actually had to read about that law so that I could make the spot right, or else the company could get sued. Because you can file a lawsuit, or I don't know if that's the right term, against the company that made the commercial because they're the ones responsible for it. So not to get in that whole discussion, but that's a really interesting behind the scenes sort of of what's involved with that.
I saw that come through and I'm like, oh, great. And I still get louder ads than the videos because I guess there's like a threshold or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh.
Yeah, so speaking of which, YouTube needs to implement some sort of volume leveling for pre-rolls.
Seriously.
That would be fantastic because there's a lot of times where I just throw like a really long stream or something on my TV and I don't want to have to get up out of bed to run over to my computer to lower the volume.
Yep.
And
So we've kind of moved off of YouTube
Yes.
Red now.
Yeah, we got distracted. So I'm going to be honest. Like, personal opinion, the only reason why I'm actually going to end up subscribing to YouTube Red, but is actually because of the Play Music library. Like, I don't really give a shit about ads on YouTube because I don't watch YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm kind of a bad.
No,
I guess
I don't think so.
Target audience for
I
this.
mean,
Maybe.
Everyone has their own reasons for signing up. For you, it's because actually, speaking of which, for people who don't know, if you have a Google Music subscription, you get YouTube Red. If you have
you've already got
if you have a
You're
YouTube
good.
Red subscription, you get Google Music. They're pretty much the same thing. And so, like, I signed up for the trial for Google or trial for Google, YouTube Red, and I just went to play.com or play.google.com, went to music, and it said, "Hey, you have Google Music now."
I'm currently listening to Phantom NK. I think that's what the band name is. They're a chiptunes artist. I'm like, oh, they've actually got a really good library for chiptunes. This is good because Spotify's is really limited, and I don't like Spotify that much.
And the actual quality of the streaming is really good, depending on the artist, but up to like 320, which is really impressive.
Yeah, so
we already went off.
Well, I mean, comes and goes, but I don't know. I think part of it is like most people probably don't even know about YouTube Red. I wouldn't be surprised if like us talking about it is quite possibly like some people's first even like encounter into what is YouTube Red. Because I can see the like average audience person, unless their favorite YouTuber was like ranting and raving about it, I don't know, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, it's in our interest to be on top of everything.
It's true.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense that we might know everything about it, or everything. To be fair, everything there is known about it, or is to know about it.
Not that that's a lot. It's quite.
Yeah.
And
It's
until it goes
surprisingly
global,
low.
I don't think anyone's genuinely going to understand how it works. It's kind of a black box at the moment, and I guess we'll see how the service evolves, both for people who make stuff and people who watch stuff. So I think YouTube Red is hopefully going to evolve into something that's good, and unless it doesn't, in which case, fuck it.
I guess, I mean, I can't see it really harming any of us. And I can't see, like, most end users caring, apart from, like, oh, yeah, you know, this actually comes with a fair number of features that I'm interested in. But I don't think it's
one of those things that unless it doesn't directly affect you until you buy it. But otherwise, YouTube will probably go unchanged.
Oh, yeah. I don't think...
Maybe the only thing that will happen is that for creators, the price of ads will go up because there are less of them.
I'm really hoping that it actually affects my bottom line without affecting any of my fans in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Just because...
Yeah.
I'm glad YouTube are experimenting with it, and if it doesn't work, then they'll change it.
I mean,
that's
YouTube,
what they always do.
YouTube eventually was going to have to move into the subscription model, from what I see.
Like, that's part of the reason why I'm so, like, I'm actually kind of disinterested in YouTube Red, because realistically, like, Hulu, Netflix, Spotify, all of them have subscription services, and in fact, like, YouTube already has a subscription service. They're just adding to it, effectively. Like, YouTube Red isn't a new service, they're just adding the YouTube side of it and renaming it slightly for better branding, I guess, because who knows about Play? I guess anybody with an Android does.
The Play Store.
But like, I don't think it's going to change anything, and I think ultimately, I do think it will be very good for us. But as long as my like ad revenue doesn't go down, I don't care.
Yeah. I think we've effectively solved the problem of YouTube Red now. That's done, dusted, and
the thing is,
locked in the vaults.
The thing is, Roy, I have way more to talk about of it.
Oh, right, okay.
But let's hear.
Let me just lay out kind of the other aspects of it. So there's the watch time Red like pot, right? How you get paid. That's a whole nother discussion.
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually something that I'm a little bit more interested in. But that's like not YouTube Red per se. That's how YouTube treats its creators. So I guess to preface this for anybody that doesn't know. YouTube kind of has this weird preference. Well, not weird preference, but it has a preference for videos that get a longer watch time. And so, like, the higher the audience retention and the, like, longer minutes overall that a video gets,
it's kind of
it's
a
worth more.
three-pronged. From what little I understand at the moment, the way it ranks videos and all that jazz is basically a three-pronged understanding of how you watch videos. So it's retention on a video, which is basically the percentage of a video that you watch. Your total watch time,
percentage of the video that
minutes.
is watched.
Yeah,
it's not like just like per user, but if a video has really good retention, it's more likely to be relevant because people sit through it. So
overall, and then specific watch time in literal minutes. So every second counts. If you want to watch a thing, if you watch it to its end, that counts for minutes. If you watch it to its end and it's really long, then that's even better. And then
like these videos,
a watch time session. So you go from one video to another video and another video, and they track how long you go through the YouTube site, and that contributes to how well a channel does and how well its videos do. But now it also contributes, or at least one of them contributes, to how much they get paid from YouTube Red.
Yes.
Which
so for
I
example,
don't feel is the best way of doing it, but I don't know.
I feel like there has to be a better way, but I can't think of one.
Because and the crux of the problem is thus people who make videos that are 1 minute long and take a month or a week, like animation channels. So high quality content put a lot of work into making something cool. Oh, I mean, it could be shit, but let's assume that it's good, and it takes 1 minute to watch. That's 1 minute that goes on the watch time. And say a Game Grumps video, which is 15 minutes and takes, well, I don't know how much effort it takes to produce, but I assume much less than an animation. That's 15 minutes. Bonk. That's 14 minutes extra. Bonk. That Game Grumps get
12
watch time.
Yeah. To be totally honest, Game
they
Grumps
will get more money.
Yeah, Game Grumps is pretty low production value. Not a whole lot of editing goes in, apart from like when they decide to do a gag.
Yeah.
So it's really cheap content to produce, which is, I mean, that's why Egoraptor started it and stopped doing so many animations, because just Let's Play videos have a much higher bottom line than animations, with some obvious exceptions, I guess, if we want to get into that. So I guess the one counterpoint is this doesn't necessarily mean that everybody should transfer over to like really long videos. In fact, I would say that would be like a terrible idea for most people.
Yeah.
It'd be a terrible idea because then if they're awful for the first 5 minutes and it's a 35-minute video, then no one's going to watch you.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
So
make a good 5-minute video.
Yeah, this means that like Northern Lion with his, extra long everything is going to make more money than say I guess proportionally more money than, say, C-Nanners.
Who has really much shorter, heavily edited videos.
But ultimately, like, C-Nanners is still getting more views and therefore more watch time. Even though, like, Northern Lion technically has longer videos. It doesn't matter. So I guess the balancing factor in all of this is, like, yeah, sure, the longer your video, the more money you make from it, but longer videos have a lower growth potential, so chances are you're going to get less views.
Right.
So I don't know. I actually feel like it's not fully balanced, and like it could use a little bit more tweaking.
It could,
but I don't think it's nearly as unbalanced as people say it's going to be.
And I think the whole watch time metric, because I've been thinking about this a lot, is that it's unbalanced in terms of like it's in some ways it's unfair to different creators. But the previous system of just views for how, just speaking in terms of how videos are ranked, was way more easy to exploit, which is where, for people who've been on YouTube for a while, Reply Girls.
Oh my goodness.
Megan Speaks was one of the top ones. And those videos completely fell off the face of the planet because YouTube, I'm pretty sure it was September of 2012, implemented watch time, which means once people clicked on the tits and then, breasts, and then started watching the video and realized, wow, she's really annoying. And she's just talking about absolutely nothing. And they reply to everything.
I don't think that YouTube specifically as a response to the reply girls changed their system, but I like to think that it was.
I'm actually pretty sure it was. Because
it was directly because of.
They were everywhere and they were making so much money because they were getting so many views.
And they were all like 2-second views. It was like, oh, this is
not good.
What is this?
And
also, they were kind of gaming the system with the way that tags worked back then.
I think YouTube actually has kind of like a justice boner for any person they can take down that is like trying to game their system. So I would not be surprised.
I guess that makes sense with Google in general, right?
Yeah.
It's in their business so that people feel like the system's fair, so that they can get into it.
It makes sense to me. I'm glad that you can't game the system, though. I still see people trying. I love getting comments that are like, "Hey, can you like just sub to my channel and stuff like that?" And it's like
sub for sub.
Yeah, it's not exactly the
way
same.
Back from 2010.
Neither of us gain anything by doing that.
Yeah,
you're not paid for subscribers, no matter what people think. Which is like a 4-year-old rumor now.
I had a viewer on Twitch that was very adamant that it was absolutely still good for both channels. I'm like, I have 11,000 subscribers, you have 50. I'm not entirely sure, like, where the benefit is for me in this, but also, like, there's no benefit for you. I don't know what you're talking about, kid.
Yeah.
I felt kind of bad.
Watch your content.
But, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing with, like, gaming the system, that's kind of the point I was trying to bring up, was that right now, it feels unfair between creators, but when it was just views, it was way easier for one type of video to completely just wreck the searches because they could have that really flashy title. But then once watch time came into play, no one was actually watching the video. And when I say reply girls were everywhere, I mean they were everywhere.
I
they would completely fill up
like that.
every suggested video, no matter the video. It could just be some random Russian, video from the middle of nowhere, and there would be like 50 replies to it. So in this video, there's someone walks around and they yell at things.
Okay, let's move away from this before I try and figure out how to
block me
over there and punch you.
Where were we going with this?
Point is, you're paid on watch time, in a sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting point. This is more for creators, but like most viewers probably don't even know that this is a thing. So it's worth kind of talking about just because it's interesting. Do we want to move away from YouTube Red, seeing as it's kind of this like weird circle jerk where we don't have anything to argue about, like kind of reporting? Because like we can talk about it forever, but I'm not entirely sure if like there is anything to talk about until like something actually happens. I guess the one thing I would actually like to say about YouTube Red is the community reaction to it. I thought that was actually more interesting than YouTube Red itself.
It was surprising.
People were a lot more angry than I thought they would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's
especially
always
as
true.
This has been coming for a while.
I found it interesting how many like really small channels were really angry about it and like, terrified about it and stuff like that. And I'm like, it doesn't even affect you. Like this is
far as big boy stuff.
I mean, I saw a lot of like, channels under 100 subscribers, and like not to debase them, like we've all been there. But when you've got like 100 subscribers on YouTube, nothing can affect you apart from like some dillhole reporting all of your videos a bunch and like getting you sunk. Yeah. That's about the only thing you have to worry about, and for the most part, like that's a temporary measure. Because YouTube will usually recant and be like, "Oh wait, yeah, you're not just throwing penises everywhere."
That's everywhere. That's my side job.
Yeah, but
everywhere.
I found it so interesting to see like the back and forth. Boogie had a trusted source that he kept talking to that was like feeding him information, and that kind of like fueled the fire.
Yeah.
But it was all hearsay. Yeah. And then what was it, Full Screen, the network had some information about like almost kind of refuting it. I don't even remember the rumors. I just remember the back and forth of like, you know, I think one of the things that people were super concerned about was like YouTube wouldn't be paying people for YouTube Red trial periods.
But
so right now it's
they
saying,
are.
yeah. Well, it's not that they were or weren't. Nobody knew. They're just coming out and saying, yeah, we are. And everybody else was like freaking out because hearsay beforehand.
Yeah.
And I thought that was...
Yeah. I think you're right, Wanda. We should probably move on because there's no longer... 40 minutes is probably too much.
Too much for YouTube Red.
But just about,
maybe too much for you guys. I could talk about YouTube Red forever.
Yeah, we could talk about it, but it's not interesting. Okay, have you guys played Kingdom yet?
I played it months and months and months ago when it was still a free game. And
like the Flash game thing?
I really regret that I missed the fact that it was coming to, being developed into a paid thing, because I really loved it, and it was gorgeous. It really was.
Really
like
good. It's really good and it's really pretty.
Yeah. I really wish they'd sent me a fucking key, which was another thing we were going to talk about. I don't mind if we stick with Kingdom.
Oh, yeah. We'll come around for a second. I'm really angry at them. They sent me a key 2 months ago that unlocked on launch day, and I'm like, can I have like a pre-release one? And they're like, we're not handing those out. And then I saw like a bunch of people with pre-release keys putting out videos, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's the thing a lot of people have been thinking and talking about recently, is the fact that if you want to get some popularity with either a series or a topic, then you got to kind of be on it quick. Otherwise,
you gotta elbow your way in. Otherwise,
gets away from you.
I guess to kind of go with the key, getting keys and stuff like that. For people that don't know, that like don't do YouTube or only doing YouTube small time to the point where like you haven't really interacted with press stuff, talking with companies and whatnot. A lot of us are completely reliant on either contacting developers or like certain small press companies like Evolve PR or a new one called Keymailer to get us copies. And so like a lot of us have been waiting for...
Which is very good.
Yeah, Distribute has been really good. I actually have no idea who handles that. I don't know if it's like Rami himself.
I think a lot of it is automated, and also the developers have a back-end bit.
It's sort of a platform, if anything, like a verification platform.
Yeah.
So the developers
you
themselves
verify
sort
yourself
of run
beforehand, and then you go ask for keys, and then people can decide if they give
I'm
it
totally
to you.
cool with that. I feel like the more people are involved, the less likely I am to get a key.
More robots.
And yeah, in fact, to the point where like I've actually gotten an impersonator. Have I ever mentioned this or no?
Yeah, that's the thing that happens. I've never had one myself, but
I've got a guy that for the past couple of months he's been emailing developers, begging for copies of games, and like I've read his emails. The developers will send them on to me when they find out that he's a fraud, and like I'm offended personally because this guy doesn't even know what my name is. He just came up with a name for me, and like is claiming to be like a 15-year-old that's like poor and can't afford games, and like that's why he wants a press copy so he can cover the game and stuff like that. I'm just like,
wow,
god damn, at least pretend to be me.
Yeah,
I'd be more okay with this if you didn't make me look like a dickweed to begin with, but whatever. This guy's probably I'm gonna be totally honest, this guy's probably not American, and he's probably doing these to sell the keys on the gray market.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, so it's like G2A and Kinguin.
I recently helped release a game, and I was in charge of the keys. I was reading lots of emails, and I was like, how many sentences before I realized that this person is either an impersonator or just a bot or something? And apparently I only let like 2 or 3 keys get through. So, I mean, kudos to the people who fooled me, because I'm on both sides of this. It's weird.
I'm impressed that you only got 2 through. I've heard some pretty sad stories about people getting through like crazy. And like, for the most part, it doesn't harm too many people. but it's still one of those kind of things where it's like, if you're an indie developer, and actually, it is actually pretty harmful. I remember first hearing about this a year ago, actually. It was like a turn-based RTS. It was like Age of Magic or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But the guy had like gone and checked, and I have no idea how he checked it specifically, but almost like a full 50% of the keys that he had sent out never got used, or weren't like actually the YouTubers.
I think
there's a Steam backend.
He
where you can check
he sent out keys, and then he took those keys and then had them in a database, and then went to some sites and bought some copies, and then found that the keys matched.
Yep.
Which must be terrible.
Oh yeah, that sucks a lot. This was actually kind of a funny story. So I was at the Boston Festival of Indie Games in September, met the developers, talked to them, whatever, got a key. And then like a week later, got a tweet from them saying that somebody impersonating me had asked for a copy, and they had just absentmindedly sent it to him. So they immediately just put it on Twitter when they realized, oh wait, no, this is Wanderbot, the guy who's like actively covering our game more than anybody else. This is why did we do this?
Yeah.
So I think somebody ended up on Twitter got the key, and this is my standard imposter.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people, and like it's kind of ridiculous.
It's kind
and
of
this is one aspect you've got to consider when you're contacting developers for game keys.
Yeah.
A lot of people, well, I don't know a lot of people, but some people now put at the bottom of their or top of their email saying, this is where you can verify that this is my real address in the about section of your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Please.
I've done that, and I've had a lot of I've had a lot of developers thank me for being like, this is my email, any other emails aren't me, and contact me here if it happens so I can continue to report this guy. Actually, that is one of my rage issues. So this imposter, I've reported him 7 times now. Google will not do anything about it. I like Google a lot, but they will not help me get rid of a person that is actively stealing using their service effectively.
Scamming.
That's kind of frustrating. And I actually talked to Union for Gamers, and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything about it. I'm like, oh,
come on, curse. Put a curse on him.
I was trying. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's kind of embarrassing when I read stories about that, because that just makes me feel sort of, responsible for it, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
Kind of, since I'm associated with it.
Yeah. My deep-seated fear is at some point a developer is going to come back and be like, no, fuck you, I already sent you a key. Like, but I'm the real one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's pretty easy to verify. And that's why stuff like, Evolve PR, Dio Distribute, Keymailer and stuff are actually really good for the industry, and I kind of wish everybody would just use them. Because I know for all of us, we have, no idea if we're even going to get press copies, or, when we're going to get them. And I wish it was, almost a industry gold standard of if you're releasing an indie game, you don't have YouTubers asking you for the game. They just go to the site and you send the request that way. Because I would feel a lot better if I would feel a lot better if every single request I ever sent off had to verify my information or go through a verified site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel terrible whenever a developer gets their shit stolen. That's not fair to them. I mean, they put in all the work for some, greedy kid and wherever to resell the game for, 20% off? Ugh. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I really am a fan of the verification systems like Evolve Terminal, Do Distribute, and Keymailer, even though I haven't really gotten anything through it yet, besides stuff that I already own.
I just got a key for a game that's coming out in April 2016 from them.
It's unlock on launch?
No, it's shit. It's unlocked. I've played 30 minutes of it. I'm like, this is really early for a game. This is the ultra early access copy. And I'm actually really happy about it because a lot of my best series have been games that I got access to maybe 5 weeks early and just put out a full series before I even touched Steam. Yeah. And it felt so good.
It works really well.
Oh yeah.
It's same for me, and a couple of games like Captain Remix Forever. No,
Yeah.
Captain Forever Remix. That
I remember that one.
That was such a good game, and I got it early, and just because I'd been a bit vigilant and followed the developer, and then I was like, boom.
Yeah, I remember you sent out that email. I streamed it, but like I was so bad at the game, I was just like, I can't do this. For people that don't know, it's effectively kind of like it plays like Asteroids, but you're like taking parts of ships and putting them onto your own.
Yeah, you kill the enemy ships, and then they explode into pieces, which you can then build onto your ship, like lasers and torpedoes and like bulkheads and shields.
There are
and
a
stuff.
couple
It's really
other
cool.
games that are similar, but this one had kind of that nice, I'm going to say Adult Swimmy style of like art and humor.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of stood out a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Adult Swim is very specific in its style.
Yeah. It didn't really, I don't think it made a particularly big splash on Steam, unfortunately.
No.
But I guess that's just kind of normal.
But it did well for me, and the creators are still working on it, so it must be going okay. I don't know.
That's
you
good.
can probably find out how well it did through Steam Spy.
I always find it fascinating when like developers of small games are still working on them like years later. I guess at this point it would be a year later because I got the key about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Give or take. Maybe it was only like 8 months ago, but still. That
there are 10,700-ish owners, plus or minus 2,000, because that's how Steam Spy works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not great numbers, but I think it's still.
I mean, it kind of depends. If that's a 2-man development team, imagine they get. I don't know how many. I actually don't know this.
30% is Steam's cut.
Okay, so they got maybe 60-70% of that. So 60,000, give or take. Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not bad. That's enough
could
for
be a lot
like
better.
well, yeah. I guess it really depends on like what kind of standard of living you're thinking about, and if like you have a side job.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if developing an indie game was my like side job, then say if I'm working with one other person, 30,000 for the each of us, like
that's a year.
It's not great for profit, but it would be still nice. But if like I was trying to live off of that and I could like pump games out like that pretty fast, it wouldn't be so bad. It'd be tighter than say being an investment banker, but that's kind of the point of being an indie developer. I mean, that's kind of the point of being a YouTuber. I don't exactly
no more
go
investment banking for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to quit my $500,000 job a year, become an indie dev.
Fuck.
I'm sure that's someone's story somewhere.
It needs a bit of a lifestyle change, but might work.
I think it's one of those where it's like that's not terrible. I actually, I don't know. I don't know what numbers I expected there.
I've got a soft spot for that game, not only because it was a good series, but you know it's a fun game and it deserves good.
I've got a soft spot for most indie games as long as like it goes on early access and gets developed. I hate games that like go on early access, patch twice, and then disappear forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or
Stomping
just
lands.
released normally.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, I guess almost the most famous example of that, Cube World. Did you guys hear their tweeting again?
I've suddenly they've come out of hiding.
I've been favoriting every picture I see because I want to encourage Wally. Wally
might almost contribute to the problem just because I get the feeling like Wally is a shut-in and like too much attention is going to break him. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, now I'm feeling guilty because I want that game to keep being worked on so badly.
Oh yeah, I know the subreddit. The subreddit is actually one of my favorite things about it all. That for the past 2 years, it just had a sticky for no.
Yeah, just no.
That was amazing. I thought that was really, really clever and really funny.
Sort of sad in a way.
Yeah, kind of sad as well. I will agree with that. But I'm actually really glad that he's working on it again. And I never really believed he stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you guys kind of know the story for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like I guess some people might not, but effectively nobody knew about him until I want to say like Rock Paper Shotgun found out that Notch was trying to hire the guy or something like that. I don't exactly remember the exact path that happened here, but effectively he suddenly became really popular and everybody was like, "Can we buy your game? I want to buy your game." And he's like, "No, like it's not ready yet."
Yeah.
And then the peer pressure got to be so bad that he put it up
and then
then
they
realized
actually released it.
Yeah, and then I mean, he didn't
And
have to.
then it wasn't done. Weird.
Yeah, and it wasn't done. Weird. And then the kickback was so bad about like how slow his support was that he withdrew, and I can't blame him. I actually think that
I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I would have. If I actually find myself, if I ever have a series that does too well, I almost kind of shut down on it. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable with this because it's too sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had Holy Potatoes Weapon Shop take off like crazy on my channel, like tens of thousands of views on each episode, and I'm like, I'm gonna try and ride this wave, but like, it's definitely like outside my comfort levels, and I just want to keep doing my thing here.
It's sort of uncomfortable when you hit that success. I mean, it's great, but it's also really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want to follow it up, but there's that like way higher expectation. Like if this next one isn't good, then I'm gonna get even more hate. So it's just kind of a weird mental cycle.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the odd thing is that Cube World actually was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It didn't have much in terms of like long-term content. I probably put like 20 hours into it, and that game was actually, in my experience, actually quite polished. It had a lot of variety, and the worlds were so massive, and like makes Minecraft look like a joke in terms of the scale and how much variety there is in the world, and everyone's just looking for more content. And I'm very, very glad that he's beginning. I mean, I'm not saying he stopped working on it, but it's so nice to see all the sorts of stuff he's working on now.
I'm excited for Cube World to come back. Let's just jump right in. Let's just pretend that thing didn't even happen.
So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think what really people wanted was just a tweet once a week, like a screenshot of something.
Yeah.
I mean,
or just
for some
weekly, I'm alive, I'm working on it. You can bunch up your panties as much as you want. Cube World will be done.
Yeah.
Within the next decade.
And what's kind of worrying me is that he's really, really active, and I worry that he's overdoing it. He's like, some days he's posting like 4 screenshots a day, which to me kind of worries me that he's going overboard, sort of.
I don't know. I get the feeling he's finally confident with it again.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I think this actually should be the last topic of the night, just because it bleeds into next week's topic. Seeing as Mari's not here, the beginner's guide. But I get the feeling he's kind of finally regained his sense of self in like the machine, and he knows where he stands, and I think he's much more confident with where Cube World is, that he can talk about it. I know, for example, as an artist, whenever I'm working on like a painting or something like that, if somebody asks me, "Hey, can I see your like in progress thing?" I'm gonna say no, like it's not ready. I don't have a presentable thing. And like if they badger me enough, I'll show it off to them, and generally regret doing so, not because it's not good, but just because it's not up to my standards. But I wouldn't also be surprised if he wasn't also dealing with some level of depression. Maybe there's family stuff. Who knows? It's not our business, and it doesn't matter. But I get the feeling he's kind of finally decided, I'm ready to face the world again.
Yeah.
And as such, he's embracing Twitter and riding a wave of a fair amount of positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to analyze him. I'm just happy that Cube World is still going somewhere, because I really love it.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as the game's worked on, I don't care how long a game takes. I mean, half of my series are on indefinite hiatus while I wait for the developers to patch it again. Almost to the point where some of my fans have been threatening me to like bring them back, or they'll unsubscribe, or dislike all my videos, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything.
If you want to
Like,
spend
sure,
the
do
time,
it.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Give me
like
engagements.
it does. It makes me feel kind of bad, but at the same time, like ultimately, I'm not going to bring. I'm not going to. I don't negotiate with terrorists. No. But like,
Well, now you've listened to this, you know exactly how much your views are worth to us. So you can.
yeah. You can take
no,
your
not really.
1.5
Please
cents
subscribe.
worth of no. Yeah, keep watching. We value everybody. I mean, for me, views are more of a this gets my video closer to ranking, so I can keep growing, and then eventually, like the accumulation will actually mean like a good salary. But for now,
Like your individual views may not be worth monetarily that much, but you commenting, you engaging with us, you being fans of the show, all that stuff, that's way more valuable.
Yeah.
On
all
a
you
creator
fuckers
level.
are the reason why we're doing this, apart from having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not-
And I think that's probably a
I
good
think
place to
that's-
finish. Before we do, I do want to say I actually played Beginner's Guide in anticipation, but
I
now
saw
that
you
Mara's
playing
not
it.
here,
Yeah,
okay.
she's sick. You know, we didn't even mention that Mari's just not here. It's just like Chris is like, yeah, I'm here with Wanderbot and Josh. That fourth person from last time, yeah, nope, she's silent for the entire video. We have her on mute. She's still here. She can hear us, but we're not letting her speak because she's like the gremlin in the closet, and the tumblerine has pissed her off too much, so we're not letting her talk.
Yeah, I
didn't say
imagine
that.
we're gonna
Wanderbot
have.
did.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a good thing I don't have a Tumblr anymore.
I'm glad that my audience is 95% male.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wow.
I imagine that we're going to have
Wow,
a
Wander.
rotating list of people hosting, guesting on this anyway.
Yeah.
So get used to it.
Oh, my views that I just expressed are not my actual views. I'm just being a parody of a person.
They're his watch time. Boom. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm not.
Thanks
I'm not
for
sure what
listening,
you're talking
everybody.
about.
Yeah.
All right, bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Good night.